Yeah, I think we are live now. Good to see a lot of people have already joined us, and I hope more people will join. Good evening to all those who have joined. I'll be giving a basic, I would say, strategy lesson about how to prepare for CAT, how to actually think about the CAT preparation, what should be your study plan from now till November. So, a good evening to all those who have joined and are like have a lot of doubts about CAT, I would say this is your session because feel free to ask any doubt related to CAT about how to prepare for CAT, what should be how you should actually go about preparing any doubt that you would have. Just feel free to ask in this particular session. I want it to be as interactive as possible, and just put in a hi in the chat box and let me know how your preparation is going. Okay. Good to see a lot of people have joined. Hi, all those who have joined. And can you guys please like the stream? It helps us quite a bit in reaching more students. So I see a lot of people on the stream and very few likes. So please like the stream for me, and feel free to ask any questions you have about this, about CAT preparation, about any section of CAT, anything, any doubt as such. There are no questions which are silly or incorrect. Every question I'll try my best to answer it to the best of my ability. Hi Ram, hi Srihari, hi Samir, hi Path, hi Tiwari. Is it important for a person to be in IITs and NITs to join IIMs? It is not important. I'm not from an IIT or an NIT. I came from Mumbai University and I went to IMA. In fact, I would say about 20-30% of the actual intake of IIMs would be people from IITs. Another 10-15% would be from NITs. The remaining are actually from non-IIT, non-NIT background. So it does not matter. There is a lot of diversity in the batch, and everyone has a chance. Everyone has an opportunity to really make it to the top IIMs. Okay. Hi, hi everybody. Hi all those who have joining. I see a lot of people who have joined. A small request from my side: please like the stream, and if anybody is preparing for CAT, please share this channel with them so that they can also join us in our session. So good to see a lot of people have joined. In this session, I want it to be as interactive as possible, so feel free to ask as many questions as possible. I'll try to solve and answer every one of them. Okay, so good to see a lot of people have joined. So somebody's asking Krishna how to revise quants. Krishna, the objective should never be to revise quants. The objective should always be to solve. If you're solving different types of questions every single day, you're by default revising. So revision will never be like of formulas or concepts. Your idea of revision should be solving questions. When you solve questions, you know whether you know the concept, know the formula or not. If you're not able to solve, it means you need some help. You need to revise. If you are able to solve, there is no extra need or extra concept revision that is needed. In quant, remember that concept is like 10%, solving questions, practicing questions is like 90%. So there is no need for concept revision as long as you are solving regularly. Ma'am, I gave CAT 24 without study and got 30 percentile. Should I repeat? Yes, Vaibhav. Obviously, if you have given without any preparation, there will be it won't be a good score. Give yourself the chance to score well. Give yourself the opportunity. Trust yourself. Work hard. And give your best. Let's see what your best is. This is you without any effort, but let's see what your best percentile is also. Your best percentile might be enough to get into a very good college. So don't consider your potential based on a no effort kind of when you have put in no effort, you can't judge your potential based on that. Your true potential will only be understood based on your best effort. So give yourself another try. I would say give your best effort and then let's see. So Mukund is saying finding the Kraku dashboard overwhelming in terms of daily schedule, live class, study room, etc. Mukund, I really hope I'll try to do one video on how to use Kraku and how to use the live sessions, how to use the schedule and all. I would say that prioritize. The priority order should be clear for you. The first priority always is the daily classes, the daily live schedule, the daily tasks that you have. The second priority is the live classes. The third priority after that is practice, which includes study room, daily target, whatever is your choice of practice, that depends on you. But first is always daily tasks, that includes the videos and concept tests, and secondly live classes. If you're doing that, just that, and you're not able to do the remaining, that is fine. You will get ample time to do the remaining when we progress in our preparation journey. So let me take you on this preparation journey from February to November. See, this is a long journey, and a lot of students start with like a lot of enthu, lot of full into that we will like work for the next 10 months, we are going to crack November. But a lot of them lose steam. A lot of them are not able to sustain that initial momentum. So I'm here to give you a realistic study plan that you can stick to from now on till CAT 2025. And I want to actually discuss how you should think of the process, how you should actually think of your CAT preparation journey, because this is a exam which is slightly different from your 10th standard exam, slightly different from your 12th standard exam. So how should you actually think about the exam? How should you actually prepare for CAT? I'll be discussing all of that. In that meantime, I'll be trying to solve as many of your doubts as possible, answering as many of your questions as possible. So let's get started. Uh, One small thing I try to tell everybody who is looking for Kraku's batches. So we have a new batch called Pragya batch starting today. It started today as such, and it is a batch which has concept videos, full syllabus coverage in terms of concept videos and concept tests. It has daily live classes. It has a day-wise schedule saying that you have to do this, you have to do this. You also get weekly revision and one-on-one mentorship. You can book mentorship calls so that you can get the guidance you need as far as CAT preparation goes. So if you're looking to join Kraku, please do check out our Pragya batch. It starts today. Okay. So let's get started. Let's understand how to prepare for CAT. What should you know when you're preparing for CAT? And just keep asking the questions. I'll try to answer as many of them as possible. So let's get first thing clear about how you actually should prepare for CAT. See, when you're preparing, you're starting your preparation. The thing that you should remember is that if you have a schedule, if you have a daily habit, that daily habit will be easier to sustain than if you start with like a lot of enthusiasm and just do 4 or 5 hours every single day. It will be difficult to sustain it till November. So, what should you actually look for? What should be your aim? Firstly, you should block off 2 hours every single day. If you are starting from now till November, if you are able to consistently give 2 hours every single weekday, that should be enough. If you have joined Kraku's batch, if you will see that it would require only 2 days, 2 hours per day. One is for the 1 hour for the concept videos and concept tests. The second hour for the live classes. The live classes will ensure you have enough practice. The concept videos, concept tests will make sure that your entire syllabus is covered. So if you are joining our batch, by default, we have a daily 2 hour kind of schedule. But if you are not even joining our batch, every day say that there is a 2 hour block of time, say 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., depending on whether you're a morning person, evening person, whatever. But there should be a clear demarcated 2 hour block of time which you do not touch, and every single day for those 2 hours you actually prepare for CAT. There should be a place. I always say that if you have a clear uncluttered desk, if you have a uh, efficient workplace where there is no clutter, there's no distraction, you're going to get things done. If you have a lot of clutter, if you have a lot of distraction, it becomes difficult to get things done. And third thing, most important thing, is you should have a schedule. If you join our batch, we give you a day-wise schedule. Even if you actually don't join our batch, you can download the schedule. Would the schedule give you? The schedule will give you like a day-wise list of things that you have to do. See, CAT syllabus is immense. You have 3 sections. There is like a vast syllabus. Now, how should you actually go about preparing for it? What should be the day-wise, like what are the concepts that you need to cover? How do you actually go about doing that? So our schedule basically says that on day 1 do this, on day 2 do this. This schedule is freely available whether you follow our batch or not. You can follow the schedule. So even if you're actually self preparing by yourself, you can download the schedule, you can follow the schedule. If you actually join the Pragya batch, not only will you get the schedule, you'll also get the like the videos, the classes, the questions to actually follow or keep up with the schedule. But essentially, you should have a time, you should have a place where you study, and you should have a schedule printout put up in front of you so that every day you know that aaj ye karna hai, today I have to do this, and that will make the whole process more efficient. If you make the process more efficient, it is more likely that you will do this consistently. If you create a habit where every day you know that at this point of time I have to not be disturbed, I'm going to put 2 hours of cat practice every single day, it will make sure that you actually sustain it till November. You should tell your parents, or you should tell like whoever, your friends, etc., that do not disturb me from this time to this time every day. This is my time which is dedicated to cat. So they also know that you are serious about this, and you will also feel more accountable. So these are the first things that I want all of you guys to get done. And I want you to actually get this time, place, and schedule down right now at the start of February. Hi Samir, hi all those who have joined. One small request to those who have joined: please like the stream. It helps us quite a bit in like motivating us to actually hold more of these streams, and it helps us reach more students. So please like the stream. So Samir is asking, ma'am, I only solve RC, the DILR and quant daily test I'm skipping for now. Is that okay? That is fine, Samir, because a lot of you are not aware of the formulas, are not aware of like how to solve different types of DILR sets. That is fine, you will get a chance to do that later, but you should have premium access. If you have premium access, you can come back to it any point of time later and solve all of the DILR sets and all of the quant. Again, you have a lot of time for practice. I'll tell you when to actually focus on practice, when to focus on learning. There is a formula, not formula, but there is a idea behind it. There's like when you should practice, when you should actually focus on conceptual learning. There is a time for each one of them. So I'll show you how you should actually portion out the time. But remember, if you're actually starting out now, initially put a lot of time and effort on getting your concepts right, doing the conceptual learning. So if you're joined our Pragya batch, make sure that initially what is your first priority? Conceptual learning. So concept videos, concept tests, and daily live classes. These should be your first priority. Practice in terms of daily target, study room, we will get to that. Okay. How to start with DILR? I'll get to DILR, but Anukul, basically remember, to solve DILR sets, you should have the ability to represent information in some way where it is easy to understand, easy to decode. So for each type of DILR set, there's a representation format. You need to learn the representation format and then use it repeatedly to solve sets. If you solve 10 sets of particular type, then you will be able to solve the 11th set. So DILR is nothing other than knowing the representation format and a lot of practice. I would say that if you are not able to solve a single DILR set, you just want to know where to start or get like some basic skills at solving, I'll say that start with solving Sudokus. That will help you with table with missing values, and start solving the Einstein's puzzles, basic Einstein's puzzles. That will help you with arrangements. If you're able to do these two things properly, that will be like the foundation for doing DILR puzzles as such. If you're able to do them, it will mean that the next step would not be that much harder. Okay. Hi, Samir, you're in Sankal batch. You have access, you can do it later. Don't worry about practice. Practice के लिए time है. Right now the focus should be on conceptual learning, and you have time for it, time for the practice part in the second part of the this. I'll show you when exactly practice becomes more important and when is conceptual learning more important. Hi, curious on your thoughts of relevancy of practicing quant questions from 90s and 2000s given the recent rising quant difficulty. See, this is, I will tell you one thing. See, 2023 was a year with difficult quant. 2024 had a mix of easy and difficult quant questions. I would say that solving previous year's papers is always of good value. It always helps because it will mean that you have a wide range of exposure to questions from easy to moderate to difficult. If you have solved everything from CAT 1990s onwards, you have seen the entire range of questions as such. You will then be able to solve all kinds of questions. And again, we don't know whether CAT 2025 will be difficult, whether it will be moderately difficult or easy. A lot of people assume that CAT 2023 was easy, so I'll prepare only with easy questions. Or CAT 2023 was difficult, I'll prepare with only difficult questions. That kind of thinking is wrong. We don't know what CAT 2025 will be like. So you should be able to solve easy questions, moderate questions, difficult questions. Now, basically, what happens is that if you only look at difficult questions, the easy questions where you're expected to solve quickly, you don't have the practice for that. So there should always be a mix of questions. Solving all the previous year's papers is always good because you get a mix of all questions. Okay. Hi Srinidhi, ma'am, it is very difficult to switch with concepts daily because I'm not getting confident to move to other topic. Srinidhi, in case you are not able to solve right now, that is fine. Stick to one topic. I'll tell you the order in which you should also go through the topics. If you go through the initial concepts of each topic, it is fine. You will be able to understand each topic. Then you can move on to practice. A lot of people have immediately started with practice. See, if you're a cat repeater, that is fine if you have immediately started with solving a lot of questions. But if you're a beginner, then daily targets or study room might not be the right, this might not be the right moment for you to go there, because you might not have the required amount of confidence to go there. So first get your concepts right, get your conceptual coverage right. Once you have some amount of coverage of like the basic concepts of like confidence of the concepts, then you can go on to the study room. So let us get to the second part, which is the overall strategy that we should have. See, this is basically what I always say, that the dark blue part is the learning part and the light blue part is the practice part. So when you're starting off in February or March, most of the time would actually be spent on learning, because learning is the big part that you have to do. You have to learn a lot of formulas, you have to learn a lot of concepts. This would be the first time you're looking at many different types of DLR sets. This would be the first time you're actually looking at RC sets, saying that okay, if there's a philosophical RC, how to handle it. So there's a lot of concepts to be learned, and that we have to actually focus on in our initial part of preparation. Slowly we have to then shift, like between uh, March and April. Around April time, you have to give 50-50% time to between learning and practice. And over time, by like September or August rather, most of our time should be spent on practicing. So what do I mean by practicing? You should be then solving. So then you should go and solve all the daily targets. Go back and solve the old daily targets that you missed. You can sort daily targets by topics. You can sort daily targets by date, unsolved. You can filter out whatever are the unsolved daily targets and just go through all of them. So first is those. Practice is daily targets, and then study room. Daily targets are taken by thousands of students, so you know exactly where you stand with like compared to like 10,000 people or 20,000 people. So you have a very good idea of both the difficulty that is likely to come, and also where you stand with different types of questions, where you stand with different difficulty of questions. So it gives you a lot of information of like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses also. So practice becomes super important from like May, June onwards. Then you have to essentially shift gears from conceptual learning to practice. Right now your focus should be on conceptual learning. So if you're part of the Sankalp batch, or if you're part of the Pragya batch, please make sure that initially do a lot of conceptual learning, see all the concept videos, do all the concept tests, join our live classes, because our live classes start from the very basics. So if you are not part of Kraku's batch, do check out our Pragya batch. We have daily live classes, we have a concept every day. We have a day wise schedule which tells you which concept videos to watch, what kind of tests you have to take. Everything is given to you. And we have daily live classes, we have weekly revision, and we have one on one mentorship. So the idea is that the daily live classes, if you see in February, March, start from the very basic questions, from the very easiest questions. Slowly we are going to ramp up the level of questions, the level of difficulty in the live classes. So I always say that initially focus on the concept videos in the daily live classes, because they will actually build your base or foundation. You can only solve questions if you have some base, if you have some foundation, right? If you have no foundation, it becomes very difficult to solve questions. So always first focus on that, then you can go to the remaining questions. BP is asking, ma'am, can we buy Kraku batch and pay monthly? Yes, we have EMI options also available. So I would ask one of the guys to actually put in the information, or you can email us at support@kraku.in, where the EMI option is also available. Okay. Ma'am, I'm a cat repeater. I got 92 percentile in quant, but my VRC is very bad. I also joined the Pragya batch. How to improve and which study plan I want? So I'll explain to you what you need to do. If VRC, it's good that you have understood that VRC is the problem, but what you need to actually improve in VRC, we'll actually focus on in the VRC section strategy. Right now, for the overall strategy, remember there's a learning curve. Initially, there you have to focus on concepts, then on practice. The second thing that I want you guys to remember is that when you're practicing, what should you practice? When you're learning, what should you learn? See, when you're following Kraku's batches, it's easy. We are going to give you a lot of questions based on our like getting like full concept coverage, all the concept tests. The practice tests are also daily target are according to the weightage of each subject in cat. But when you're actually going to the study room, how should you practice? When, like, from what section should you practice? Remember, the practice should be determined by the weightage of the topic. So if the weightage of the topic is more, you should practice more from that section. I know a lot of students who practice a lot of questions from number systems, who practice a lot of questions from, like, say, like progressions and series, but practice very few questions from arithmetic, from profit and loss, from time, speed, distance. They have very few questions that they have practiced. Many people take arithmetic to be easy and they say ki isme kya practice karna. But the idea should always be that the practice or the number of questions that you practice should be determined by the weightage of the topic. So arithmetic has highest weightage, so you should practice more from that topic. Algebra and geometry have the next highest weightage, so then that should be the next in your priority order. You should then go according to priority order, not based on your liking dislike, mujhe ye pasand hai isliye maine kiya, not like that. You should go by the weightage only. And third, remember, as you get on to April, May, you should shift gears mentally and you should say that now my focus should be on solving, should be on practice. The more I solve, the more I will get like clearer with my basics, with my knowledge. The more I solve, the better I'm going to score. The single largest predictor of your CAT score in 2025 will be the number of questions you have solved. So I would say keep a counter. How many quant questions you have solved, how many verbal questions you have solved, how many LRDI you have solved. If your LRDI sets are more than 200, 300, if your RC sets are more than 300, if your quant questions are more than 3000, you have a very good chance of cracking CAT 2025. You should always say that the higher that number that I have of quant questions, BARC questions, and LRDI questions, the better chance I have of cracking CAT 2025. Always know that practice will make the biggest difference. Okay. Currently in CAT long-term batch, studying concept videos with best focus, but still fumbles when it comes to application in question. Sometimes in basic questions also. Anshul, do not get disheartened. This is a long journey. We are still in February part of it. You have to stay focused, stay on task, because this is a slow skill. This is something that is learned over time. Over time, it will become clearer, and over time, when you actually start solving more and more questions, they start to repeat. So if you have learned to do like one step, then one step, two steps, and one step, two steps, three steps, eventually you see that okay, ये question मैंने पहले भी solve किया है, और ऐसा question मैंने पहले भी solve किया है. Every quant question, it after some time you will see that they are repeating after a particular time, because there are only so many questions that you can actually make in many of these topics. So solve a lot of questions, have that patience. The more you solve, the easier it is going to get. The more practice you have, the more skill you will have. Okay. Can I join the repeaters batch now? Ajay, mail us at support@kraku.in. We also have future batches coming up, so we can help you find the right batch for you. Okay. Uh, okay. So let us go to the second one. Keep asking questions. I'll come to the questions in a minute. So let's come to the quant strategy. See, that image that we have in front of us is the idea behind this is how do you prioritize? So if you have a jar and you have to fill it with rocks, so what rock should you put first? If you put the smallest rock first and then the next smallest and so on, and then you try to put in the largest rock in at the very end, what is going to happen is that you are not going to be able to fit in all of those things. On the other hand, if you start with the largest rock in first, then put the next biggest, then you put the next biggest, and finally you put all the small stones in the spaces that are available, then you will get to fill the jar completely without it overflowing as such. The same is with your quant preparation. Get your biggest chunk, the most important part of your quant preparation, arithmetic, done first. Arithmetic should be done first. It should be done the most also. You need most practice in arithmetic. Arithmetic is easy and a lot of people ignore it because of that. That should never be the case. Arithmetic, you should solve 1000 questions from arithmetic. It is the most important topic of your quant preparation. The second most important topics are algebra and geometry. You should say that arithmetic ka main 1000 questions karunga, algebra geometry ka 500 each karunga. That those two are the second most important things, and you should get them done second, and you should practice a lot of questions from that. Progressions, logarithms, functions, these are essentially topics जिससे 2-3 questions आता है max. दो questions, तीन question max आता है. These are the next most important questions of your preparation. I would say that do it after algebra and geometry. Practice at least 200 questions from them. These are the third most important in your preparation. Then you get number systems, PNC, probability, Venn diagrams. Probability and Venn diagrams से zero questions आता है. In the last many years, almost zero questions have come. PNC one question, number systems two questions, but that also changes depending on the year, and that also very easy questions come sometimes, or sometimes very difficult questions come. But generally, number systems is like the topic is big and the questions come from a very small part of it. So I usually say that leave it for the last, because otherwise a lot of students get completely lost in number systems. They are looking at remainder theorems, they are doing all those unnecessary things, and then they don't focus on the important parts that are needed. The most important part is arithmetic, then do algebra, geometry, then progressions, logarithms, functions, then do number systems, PNC, probability, and Venn diagrams. Okay. Srinidhi, thank you, ma'am. Should I focus only on concept video and concept now and later I can do study room like April, May? Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. Srinidhi, do the concept video, do the concept test, join the live classes. Concept video is for conceptual clarity, knowing the concept, knowing the formulae. The live classes are for the basic solving. When you are starting out, when you don't know anything about CAT, the live classes, especially in February right now, we are starting from the very basics. We are going with very, very easy questions so that you are able to solve at least the most basic questions from each topic. Then January, February, we'll do the easy questions. March, April, we'll do the slightly easy, moderate. May, June, we'll do moderate level questions and so on. So by May, you will be able to solve the CAT level questions, which you will even find in the study room and daily target. So if you're not a CAT repeater, going directly to study room might be difficult for you. Going directly to daily target might be difficult for you. You can start with the concept videos and concept tests and with the CAT live classes, then slowly build up to May, where you can then start solving daily targets, then you can start solving questions from the study room. There you have to do this gear shift where you have to start solving a lot of questions from these practice tests. Okay. Ma'am, I'm thinking I will do only live classes and do the pre-reading videos and will solve easy level questions until the live classes reach moderate level. Even that is fine part. If you are able to do all the pre-reading videos, you will anyway cover the concept videos pretty quickly because the same concept videos are there also. So if you do that and you do the live classes every single day without fail, even that should be fine. By May, every like full concept coverage will be there and you will be able to solve up to moderate level by just following the live classes. So even that is a fairly good schedule to follow. If you do that consistently, regularly, you will definitely get to at least being able to solve moderate level questions by May. Okay. Ma'am, could you tell us about the GBO exam and how much to score for a GEM profile? See, for cutoffs and all, I would say that I think we have the percentile predictor or some information that is there on Krako's Instagram channel. So the SRCC GBO, which like for what it would be required for GEM profile, etc., that kind of demarcation, it will be there on our Instagram, where we actually put in the infographics about how much cutoff is there for each of the profile. So do check it out there. I'll ask somebody to also send it. If there's a link that they can share it with you, I'll ask them to share it over here. Okay. Ma'am, I will graduate in 2025. I will be giving CAT in November 2025. Is it considered a gap year, or is it okay for me to fully prepare for CAT in the next 6 months? It will be considered a gap year because between, like, say, April when you're graduating in 2025 and May 2020, you will be facing the interviews in Jan 2026. So then they will ask you what have you been doing since May 2025. So it's not a gap full year, it is a few months of gap in your resume. But generally a lot of students have like not just 1 year but 2-3 years of gap. So it's not a big deal as such, especially if it is only for that small period. It would not be a big deal. But I would still say that try to get some job, try to get some work or some internship or get some volunteer work so that you have something to talk about in your interviews. See, CAT is one part of the preparation. After you have cleared CAT, you have to also prepare for like your PEI and GD, etc. For your personal interview, you need to be able to talk about like what work you have been doing. So if possible, always find some work. If not full-time work, part-time work. If not part-time work, some internship. If not internship, at least some volunteering work, because then you can say that, okay, I was a volunteer for this organization, I organized XYZ camps. There's something that you can talk about. So always think that what can you do at least like a few days a week. If there is some work you can do, that would always be better than having no job. Okay, so let's go to the second part, which is verbal strategy. And somebody had asked me that I'm a repeater and I'm very very bad at my VRC. So one thing I will tell all those who have joined today or joined now is that February, March, April, this is the last time when I'll actually be able to say this, which is develop a reading habit. Because after April, if you're joining or starting a preparation in May, it might be too late to actually develop a reading habit. But if you're starting in February, you still have time to actually develop a reading habit. So if you guys are starting today and you want to really improve in VRC, and not just improve in VRC, basically get the same level of confidence of like reading, of answering questions, of speaking in English, I would say that start develop a reading habit. What do I mean by develop a reading habit? I don't want you to go and read like fiction books. I don't want you to go and read random books as such. I want you to read books which are on history, which are non-fiction. And if that is too tedious to read, I would say read a lot of magazines. Read The Economist. Half of I think this year's RCs, CAT 2024 RCs came from The Economist. That one magazine, so many RCs came. So I would say that if you can buy the subscription of The Economist, very good. If you can't buy, borrow it from somebody who has it. If you're part of any university, many times the college library would have access to it. If you're part of any library, generally they get The Economist magazine, so read from it. Every single one of you, I request all of you to develop the reading habit, to read from one magazine, from one source extensively. You should have the habit of reading and writing the main point. This is called active reading. I often say that do that because it is very effective. But you should first develop a reading habit. What should you read? As I mentioned, The Economist. It is very very important to read The Economist regularly. Read from the Scientific American. It's a scientific magazine, so for a lot of RCs which are based on science, either like natural sciences, geography, biology, they often take from these scientific magazines, which would be a good source to read from. Read from the read from different sources for different types of RCs. So if you want persuasive RCs, you need to read the opinion columns of good newspapers. If you need analytical RCs, you need to read from The Economist. If you need informative RCs, you can read The New Yorker, you can read The Economist, you can read any magazine that you can actually get your hands on. If you need scientific RCs, you have many scientific magazines that you can look at. If you want philosophical RCs, read from the Gutenberg Press. It has the RCs, it has the like works of most of the philosophers. So these are very good sources of reading. The more you read from sociology, philosophy, psychology, art history, geography, all of these things, there are two things that will happen. Firstly, your base knowledge of many things will improve. So for me to understand an economics based RC, if I have some idea of economics, if I have some idea of supply demand, it becomes easier for me to read. It is not necessary for me to actually read a economics based RC, but if I understand basic economic concepts, it becomes much easier for me to read. So I would always say that the more you read, the wider you read, the easier every RC becomes. The second thing is that these will develop your comprehension skills. That is why reading habit is super important. Comprehension skills basically means that you can understand verbal information. If a paragraph is given to you, it doesn't fly over your head. You understand what is the author trying to say. It is not the details, it is not the grammar, it is not the vocabulary. You understand the argument, you understand the emotions, the logic of the author. If you are able to understand that, that is comprehension skills. So reading widely will help get base knowledge as well as comprehension skills. These two things are enough to crack every question that comes in VRC. Reading comprehension is directly based on base knowledge plus comprehension skills. But if you're good at reading comprehension, you'll also be good at para summary. If you understand paragraphs, how to actually get the gist of paragraphs, ordering paragraphs becomes easier, so you'll get better at both OOC parajumbles and theta parajumbles. And para insertion will also make more sense if you are able to understand the gist of the paragraph. If every sentence becomes clearer, understanding the chain of thought becomes easier, and then finding the right place for the sentence also becomes easier. So what should you focus on? Somebody was asking that, I know that my VRC is bad. What should you actually focus on? Focus on just this, develop a reading habit. every month you should read that month's Economist. Every month you should read at least 5 different passages, 5 different articles from Scientific American, different sources. There's Aon essays. So read every single day. You should read. One more thing I'll tell you. I'll ask my some the cat preparation channel also to post over here, is that we collect a lot of good articles. Any article that we come across which is an interesting article, we collect it and we put it up in our daily articles as such. So if you don't know where to go and read or what to read, the least thing that you can do is go and read from our archive of articles. There is a lot of articles that we have found interesting that you can always read from, and they are very good reading materials because they are exactly the type of passages that come in cat. So read every single day, at least 15 minutes of reading. That is what is needed. Okay, is 15 minutes daily enough? Yes, 15 minutes, but regularly you should read one type, and different types of RCs you should read, different types of passages you should read. If you read only one thing again and again, it will not add much value. If you read different types of things, it will add more value. Okay. Aeon has amazing philosophical RCs. Yes, it has philosophical RCs. It has RCs on anthropology, art history, culture. It has many of those RCs, and so many times those are the topics that actually come in cat. So you will get very good base knowledge just from reading Aeon essays. Okay, so read from that religiously. Let's go to DILR strategy. A lot of people are not able to figure out how to actually even get started with DILR. I don't know, like, how do I answer a DILR set? I don't know how to solve even a single DILR set. कैसे करे? कहाँ से चालू कहाँ से करे? So I'll say that remember that for every DILR set, there's an easier version. So if you can't solve the DILR sets that came in, say, CAT 2023 or CAT 2024, the easiest version of it is to look at the base version. So if there is table with missing values, in CAT 2024 you had table with missing values, right? So what is table with missing values in its very, very basic form? It is Sudoku. A table with missing values is basically there is missing value in a column, there is missing value in a row. Based on the column clues and the row clues, you have to fill it. So in the most basic form, what do you have over there? You have a Sudoku. So start with solving Sudoku, so you at least know that how to actually backfill information. Like column का total है, so उससे backfill कैसे करता है, row का total है, how to backfill. So start solving Sudokus. If you can't solve a single set, start there. If you can't solve a single LRDI set, arrangement bhi nahi, then do basic Einstein's puzzle. A lot of simple Einstein's puzzles come. I used to solve a type of a game that used to come, which was an online game called Inspector Parker, which was a simple Einstein's puzzle. It would be people arranged across levels, like there'd be a murderer, there'd be a murder weapon, there'd be a cause, etc. I think the Flash game is still available online. If you search Inspector Parker, you will find it. It is a simple game for actually practicing. So if you're actually looking for that, I would say that look at that and try to see that and try to solve that, because that is basic practice. But if you have that basic idea, then you can come to solving DLR questions. The idea of doing well in DLR is solve a lot of questions, solve a lot of know the representation format, and then solve practice sets. So for every type of DLR set, whether it is linear arrangement, whether it is circular arrangement, arrangement across levels, table with missing values, table with cumulative data, different type of charts, there is a simple representation format that is there. So use that representation format and try to solve that. Okay, if it is arrangement across levels, I have to draw it out in this way and then fill information. Then you start solving, you say that, okay, this representation format works. If I just follow the rules again and again, I get to an answer. Sometimes you'll not be able to solve a DLR set. Like if you're actually solving under pressure in a mock, you'll not be able to solve. So what should you do? Then you should go back after the mock is over and you should say that I couldn't solve this particular set. Let me see the representation format for it. Then you make a mental note. अगर ऐसे type का set आया तो ऐसे type का table बनाए. If this is the type of set, then this is the representation format. If that linkage between type of set and representation format is very clear with you, immediately as you see the set, you can start solving. So you don't have to think ki, now what should I do or what should be the first step. The more you solve, the more clear this link between representation format and set becomes, and between the type of set and representation format becomes, which means that I see a set, I see it's a scheduling set, immediately I start drawing the scheduling ka this. I have a vertical scheduling format, and then I immediately start filling it. So if you know the representation formats well, if you know the different types of sets well, then it becomes easier to make that claim. So how should you actually go about it? See all the concept videos. We discuss in the concept videos each representation format, solve the accompanying concept test so that you use that representation format, then solve a lot of sets, because every time you solve a set, you use the representation format. If it works, then you remember that essay solve karna. Then it becomes clearer. Every time you're not able to solve a particular set, then you can go and back and say that, okay, how to actually use the representation format in this scenario, or what is the right representation format for this kind of set. Then it becomes easier for you to solve. Okay. Website for Sudoku. Sudoku, I like the NY times Sudoku. So if you go to NY times Sudoku, medium Sudoku, it's actually a fairly tough Sudoku. You can go to even, you can start with the easy Sudoku, then go to the medium Sudoku. Hard Sudoku, even I struggle with quite a bit. So go for either the easy ones, and then if you're able to solve easy ones fairly easily, then you can go to the medium ones. Okay. Ma'am, I followed your memory summary technique while approaching the RC in CAT 2024 and scored 96 percentile in VRC without any preparation. Worked like a magic. Sachin, so nice to hear that. Keep at it. See, I know that it works. It works for me. A lot of people are very hesitant to write down the summary or the main point of the paragraph as they read it. And they feel that they will never finish the VRC section if they are writing it down. But I myself use that. I know that it works even in a limited time crunch. You can write down the main point of each paragraph and still solve all the questions in the VRC section. So if you're really looking to improve in the VRC section, do take a look at how to do active reading. It will make a tremendous difference to your VRC score, to your RC score, to your comprehension skills. It will be like day and night difference. So try that. Even if initially your attempt rate will go down, it will make it much slower. It will take more time for you to solve an RC. But even if that is the case, your accuracy will go up tremendously. So do take a look at how to do active reading. It makes a huge difference. Aswati is saying, ma'am, my profile is 898 with BBA graduation and now working in dad's business for 1.5 years. I attempted CAT 2024 without any preparation, ended up scoring 10 percentile. Should I give CAT 2025? You have a fairly good profile. 898 is a good profile. BBA graduation, you also have non-engineer female, and you have work experience in your dad's business. You just have to make sure that you collect the work experience like pay stubs, etc. If you have that, you have even work experience, you have an excellent profile. Work hard on your CAT score. There will be nothing stopping you from converting, because your profile is very very good. You're a non-engineer female, and it generally is much easier for you to clear cutoffs with that kind of profile. Okay. Ma'am, does having a YouTube channel help in a way in building a better profile? It you can consider that as a form of work experience. You can always say that a YouTube channel was that you did YouTube marketing or you did XYZ. It has actually gained a certain level of acceptance. Earlier, people would not consider being either an influencer real work or being a YouTuber real work, but it has gained acceptance even in terms of what you can actually speak in a personal interview. It would be considered, it won't be counted towards your work experience, because work experience is only counted if based on the pay stubs and certain kind of more restrictive criteria. But in terms of just your profile, it will definitely add to it. Okay, so Sai Prajit is saying, ma'am, I'm currently in my MTech final year working as intern at DRDO. Can I apply for CAT and get into IIMs? If you're in your final year, you can definitely apply. You need only a certificate from your this saying that you'll be completing all your coursework before April 2026. As long as you get that kind of a like a letter from your this that you're in your final year of graduation, you get a preliminary uh, uh, like a graduation kind of this. If like your graduation is complete, you're in like your post graduation, as long as you have that kind of assurance that your degree will complete before the MBA degree starts, you can definitely apply. Even based on your graduation, you can apply actually. So so AM is asking, hello ma'am, graduated in 2023, took CAT 23 with 3-month prep, ended up with 80 percentiles, so took a gap year, prepared for CAT 2024 full time, and guess what, ended up 60 percentile. Now demotivation at its peak. So AM, I would say that don't be demotivated. See, I told this overall strategy to you. I told that cat में ऐसे करना है, quant में ऐसे करना है, X, Y, Z. But ultimately, on that day, you have a lot of nerves, you have a lot of tension, you have a lot of like, uh, like this fear that is also there. So it is not a reflection. This 60 percentile is not a reflection of your potential. It is not a reflection of what you're capable of. I feel that if you had the ability to get 80 percentile with very minimal effort, you have the basic knowledge, you have the basic like ability that is required to crack cat. What happened in cat 2024, don't be demotivated by it. Take it as a learning experience. See, there is a lot of people who would actually get completely defeated by that. If you don't get defeated by that, you are somebody who is very internally strong. Take that as a test of your strength, that you actually came back from something so trying, such a big setback, you managed to come out of it. So make that as your challenge. Make that challenge that cat 2025 may I'm going to get to 99 percentile. I came from 60 percentile to 99 percentile. I know a lot of students who actually managed to get from 60 percentile, even 58 percentile, I remember, to 99 percentile as such. So make that as the this that I'm going to show everybody that in cat 2025 I'll get to 99 percentile. Okay. One last thing before you guys go. So if you guys are looking for a structured way to prepare for CAD, do check out our Pragya batch, which started today. We have day-wise schedule, so every single day we'll tell you exactly what to prepare. We'll give you the concept videos, the concept test. We'll have daily live classes. So the first 2 months, that is of the daily live classes, we focus on easy questions. The next 2 months, that is March and April, we'll focus on easy moderate questions. May and June will focus on moderate questions, and we slowly increase the difficulty level of the questions. There is daily live classes are there for every day. We'll solve questions with you. Make sure that you get practice, you learn how to solve, you get the right practice as such. Then there is weekly revision, and there is also one-on-one mentorship. You can book a mentorship call so that you know exactly that if you need any kind of advice, ki kaise karna hai, how do I go about it, the mentor will be there with you for to guide you ki kaise, what is the right way to approach cat, how to prepare for cat, any doubts that you might have, the mentor will be there for you. Okay, so this is the Pragya batch. It is starting today. If anybody is interested and looking to join, we'll put the link to that in the chat box, and do check it out. It is a excellent batch for anybody who is looking to prepare for it in the long term, who is like slowly trying to build up to cat. This would be the right way to prepare for cat. Okay, I'll take a last few questions and then we'll end for today. AM said, actually, ma'am, I'm a non-engineer, so I feared quants and gave whole year for quant, so scored negative marks in LRDI. ऐसे होता है, don't worry. I know a lot of people who are very smart people, but in LRDI, they have like panic. I panic in LRDI. Even Maruti panics in LRDI. Many times he feels ki, if LRDI doesn't go well, what to do? Because if you start a LRDI set, even he has this big fear. He'll start an LRDI set, it will be 20 minutes and he will not know how to go further. And 20 minutes, if you have no set solved, if you don't know exactly what to do from there, then it can mess up the entire section. You can then go from set to set and not be able to solve something. This is like a nightmare for most students. It happens. LRDI is not just a question of like your knowledge or practice. It is a question of your nerves, whether you are able to control your nerves. I always say that the silent fourth section in CAT is like quant LRDI, verbal is there. The fourth section is mental stamina and toughness. The fourth test of your CAT ability is mental stamina and toughness. Going through what you have done, many of you guys who are repeaters, who have had a terrible CAT 2024, you have actually gone through the worst and you have come out tougher and have more mental stamina. So the fourth section of CAT you're going to ace, where the people who have lesser will or who have lesser confidence will crumble. You guys have already faced the fire, so you will come out stronger. So don't take your previous CAT scores as like any kind of demotivating factor. That should actually motivate you that the worst has already happened. From now on, here you are only going up. Okay, so that should be the attitude from now on. So somebody is asking, Rashid, 9.3, 9.2, 5.8, is it a good profile, ma'am? You have 2 out of 3 are very good. Your undergrad score is on the weaker side. It will slightly hurt you, but not a lot. I'll tell you why it might not hurt a lot, because there are many. So within IIMs also, it is not uniform. Some IIMs give a lot of importance to undergrad score. Some IIMs give zero importance to undergrad score. So there's like IIM Calcutta, which gives zero importance to IIM score. So it is not uniform. Kaun kitna importance dega? IIM Bangalore also gives more importance to 10th and 12th for some reason. Undergrad also it gives importance, but not as much importance. So it's not as if like it is reducing your chances overall, but some IIMs your chances might get reduced, some IIMs it will not affect at all. So your profile, two out of the three things in your profile is fairly good. Your undergrad scores, undergrad GPA is not that great, but it is not something that will actually mean that you don't get good IIM calls. You can all still get IIM A and C call, but some calls might be more difficult. Okay. uh, Sorry, Dipanshi, I didn't see your doubt. Ma'am, I have done my graduation in 2024. Should I take drop again without any work experience? But I am going to represent India in Asian Championship. So, Dipanshi, if you're actually participating in something like that, that can add a lot to your profile if you actually get something like that on your profile. So, should you take a drop again? I generally say don't take drops because they are. Uh, See, your work experience also adds quite a bit. You have your cat score, you have your work experience. The more the months of work experience you have, the better chance you have of getting a final call. So I would always say that have some kind of work experience. If you can find an easy job, that would be great. If you can find part time work also, that would be good. Some internship, something essentially, because you have something which is important, which you have to give time to, and which would help quite a bit in actually getting the PI calls and converting the PI calls. It would help quite a bit there, because if you have some kind, if you're representing India, that would be a big honor and would help tremendously in converting the call as such. But I would still say in getting that call, if you have work experience months, it helps as such. So a full gap year might not be good. Maybe after this championship is over, if you can get some job to get some few months of work experience, that would always be much better. Okay. Ma'am, my profile is 866, 1.5 years of work now. Non-engineer. I want some decent B school. Is that possible? If yes, what are the B schools as per your knowledge? I think non-engineer, this is possible, but you need a very good CAT score, because you have two sixes. It kind of means that it is like your profile is not great. It is a average profile, which means that you will need a very good CAT score to actually get the calls. So I would say that if I was in your position, I would focus entirely on doing well in CAT, because that is what it would be needed at this point of time. 1.5 years of work experience helps. That will add to your profile. But with two sixes in 12th and undergrad, you need a terrific CAT score to get the top B school calls. Okay, so I'm sorry, there are many people who are asking. If you can, I'll just try to answer one. Derek, I think I ignored your question. I'll answer your question and then we'll end for today. I have 68% in 10th, 57th in 12. I have done BCA, got 7.3 CPA, 2024 graduate, SC category. Can I get black eye call or any IIT call? What is the safe percentile? Please reply. So I think that given your SC category and you're looking for your you have 6 and 5 and 10th and 12th, 7 in undergrad. You also are non-engineer, so that would also help. I would say that at least target 90-95 percentile at this particular this. See, given that given category, I think it should still be okay at 93, 94. But to be safe, try to target 95 percentile, because then you will for sure get most of the top calls as such. Again, over here it is difficult to tell based on the specific profile. The ideal way, I would say that all those guys who want profile based reviews as such, go to like our Krakus call predictor, put in your specific information related to your category, your undergrad score, your 10th, 12th score. It will then tell you the safe percentile for each of the colleges, because it changes quite a bit based on the based on like the scores that you have. So the call predictor would be the best, like most reliable way of knowing what would be a safe percentile. Okay, so we'll end today's batch, today's class here. And if you're looking to join Kraku's batches, do check out our Pragya batch. I'll ask the details of that are there in the chat box. So do check out our batch. It started today. We have day wise schedule, we have daily live classes. We are starting from the very, very basic questions, from easy questions to moderate questions to hard questions. We are going to solve all of them with you. So we'll make sure that you go from absolutely knowing nothing to being able to solve the very difficult questions. You will be able to do that with us. So do check out our pragya batch. It starts today. Okay, and thank you guys, thank you all those who have joined in and who asked all of these questions. I'll hold more of these live sessions, so even if I miss some of these questions today, I'll try to answer them. Two last questions. This Mukund is quitting job to prepare full time for CAT seen negatively in interviews. Yes, and I would never recommend that. It is never a good idea to quit your job, because I always feel that you can do both. You can do your job as well as do CAT preparation. I'm asking for only 2 hours a day. You don't need 10 hours a day of preparation. So don't quit your job. And last question that I would say is for somebody else has also posted. I think I missed that question. Ruben, I'm not able to see that question of yours. Okay. So, 10th, there's two internships in finance, BBA as a course. Any scope of colleges I should target because my profile is not great? I would say that your profile is average, only 10th score is on the lower side. Internships do not count that much towards the work experience. BBA was course, so you get non engineer, some extra points for that. But I would say you need a fantastic CAT score at that this, because only then you will get like the either IIMs, old IIMs, new IIMs, baby IIMs. You need like a very high CAT score for getting the calls. Given that you have 59th and 10th, that is the only pain really. Because of that, you need more percentile, you need more CAT score for doing that. So I would say that now that you have started in February, you still have a chance, because if you're preparing religiously from February onwards, you have a very good chance of converting, and then you have a realistic chance of getting that top B school calls. Okay, so all of the guys who are looking for a structured way to prepare for CAT, like every day you should know exactly what to do, and you have a load of practice questions every day. You practice from easy onwards. So do check out our Pragya batch. It starts today, and I'll be saying good night for today, and best of luck for your CAT preparation. Thank you, guys.